Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you more CasterMuse Narak StarLeague. We are in the final game of Group H. The winner here advances to the round of 16. The loser, of course, out of the tournament. We have at 12 o'clock here on Neosylphid, Soso. And in the bottom right, we have none other than Mihu, still fighting for his life. His fellow countryman Fengji has already made it to the round of 16. Of course, Xiao Shui got kind of destroyed in his group, so he won't be making it. But Mihu, able to possibly put a second player from China into that round of 16. That would be incredibly exciting, especially because it's Mihu. This is someone who has potential to basically beat almost every pro. Like, not, I wouldn't say every pro. Like, I would... I'm sure if he goes up against, like, Snow or Flash or, you know, one of these real championship level guys, it's not going to go all that well. But yeah, let's see if he's able to take down Soso. This should be interesting because, like I mentioned, there are some similarities in the way they play. Both players do like to prioritize SCV production a bit, but I mean, even though you might tend towards something, when you get to this level, you have to have like all sorts of different styles, different ways that you're able to play and adjust. So I don't want to like shoehorn anyone into anything, but we'll see how it goes. Barracks in the main base on both sides. Doesn't look like we'll be having any command center first or anything. And yeah, we're going to have a very quick gas coming up from Soso. This position mines very, very well. So he actually gets a pre-140 gas, which is nice. And Mihu's is not that much slower. So definitely some factory expansions coming up, I would say. I would be pretty surprised if anyone does a one base play here. You know, one base plays, they can be really strong. And there's some unpredictability with them, right? Like, for instance, the counter to factory starport, if you're on one base, right? If you go factory starport as like a one base all in, the counter to that is very different from the counter to two factory. So there is a little bit of rock, paper, scissors that can occur, but I don't know that either of these players want to risk something like that, because if you screw up the one base all in literally at all, you're dead. Because, well, you just don't have an expansion. All right, factory coming up. A nice, very quick factory on both sides. Both of them optimizing really, really well at the moment. And yeah, I mean, you see SCV's completely off gas here for Soso, so he is running up to that expansion immediately. The more normal follow-up of one SCV on gas is how we're going to see Mihu go about it. And both sides going to be getting 2 Marines as well. All right. Soso's build actually works a little bit better with the 2 Marines, I would say, because he does have the extra SCV off gas. So just kind of getting a little bit more mineral income, as you can see, right? Like, look at the actual minerals right now. He is up a bit. Mihu over here. Yeah, it looks like he is going down, getting ready to build that command center. But you can see everything for Soso just slightly quicker. But again, I don't want to like overplay things like this. It's like an interesting little tidbit to watch their optimizations against each other. But it doesn't even necessarily mean that Soso's is better. Like, you see his money staying extremely low. He puts 3 back on gas so that he can get a second factory up very quickly. Whereas Mihu has banked a bunch of gas, so he actually can just go about the factories when he wants to. So that third depot on the way, third depot on the way. Really nothing out of the ordinary, right? Barracks just starting to fly across. They both have the double marine. Double marine makes a huge difference when attacking barracks. Sometimes you'll see vultures dive in to try to kill them off, because if you think it's going to be vulture versus vulture, and your opponent has marines and you don't, or vice versa, it really changes the flow of things. Like, the barracks being able to check out everything without damage forever is gigantic. So it can be huge to pick off marines. Now watch, he's got 2 vulture, 2 marine down here against 2 vulture, 2 marine, but this was 3 vulture before add-ons. So if Soso dives on this and Mihu's quick, Mihu will kill everything. Oh, third vulture actually coming. But it really, a lot of this comes down to that first volley as well. Okay, so that was not a great start there for Soso. And as you can see, Mihu really nailing him. This is one of the things that really can go wrong. Like, this is a smaller version of what we saw in Bishop versus Mihu in that butter game, right? If you're sitting in a line and your opponent is trying to attack in, the units sitting in the line will attack first when they're all like the same unit type, right? That's just the way it's going to work. That's why you're seeing things like this straight line of units. They're ready for anything to come in. He gets that first volley, and it changes it dramatically. They both lost 1 Vulture, but Mihu has 2 Marines. Soso has no Marines. He has no Marines. Look, there's nothing that shoots up. There's no armory. You wouldn't get an armory this quickly anyways with 3 Factory Vulture. And now this barracks can stay forever. This one, it checks it. You know what? This actually has to fly out now or it's going to catch on fire. What a difference. I'm glad that one of these side tangents that I over-explained finally came true in a game. But yeah, you can see that this was a huge mistake from Soso. So there is a spot for it to hide here where the Marines can't see it. So you can kind of see units rotating in and out a little bit. That's where he's going to go. But certainly Mihu should be feeling good right now. He's up 2 workers. He's producing his SCVs nonstop. He throws up a 4th factory that can't be seen from the racks. This rack's checking absolutely everything. Okay, so he knows everything going on, and Soso simply does not. So it's going to be 4 Factory Vulture against 3 Factory Vulture. You know, the 4 Factory Vulture, like, once this one kicks in and pops out 2-3 Vultures, so it's like basically 2 minutes after you make this factory, you have a big advantage. But until then, it's the same. Oh, there is a 4th factory. Never mind. I'm completely blind. Sorry about that. The barracks flew out and saw that anyways. So, yeah, this is very, very even right now. In fact, this 4th factory is slightly faster. So there's going to be like a 1 Vulture advantage or so for Soso, but there's a 5th factory started now. This is getting to be completely comical. Armory on the way. Armory is kind of like the quickest thing you can build to counter Vultures. Like, for instance, if you're both going, if it's like 4 Factory Vulture versus 5, and then like someone pops out 3 Goliaths and walks across the map and there's no mines, like that player's probably going to win. But it matters. And everything in StarCraft, it's complicated. Okay, we have a ton of Vultures. Look at this. 12 plus like another 8, so like 20 Vultures here. And he attacks in. Mihu comes in from the side. This is a better engage for Mihu, I believe. You know, Soso has a lot of Vultures here, but again, he was kind of sitting still, and we're closer to his base. So Mihu absolutely trashes that Vulture attack. All right, note to self. This is how to beat Korean pro gamers, is you literally just sit there with your Vultures and wait for them to attack. So now Mihu has an advantage. Look at the supply differential. Plus 11 supply for Mihu. 2 of that is Marines. And yeah, that just means that he has like 4 more Vultures, right? Some repair going on here for Soso. Do we have mines? We do not have mines here. This is not surprising that he went 5 factories, so like you can't really afford mines. You're kind of putting everything into just Vulture production. In the meantime, Soso is going Siege Tank. He is going Siege mode as well. And as he gets like 2 to 3 Siege Tanks out, he's basically invincible. But if there were mines, this could be a better position. Right? Like, this is part of the problem with going for a build order like this. Now, he runs in, and see, this is only a single tank. The tank is not actually tanking any of the damage, so that was good targeting from Mihu. In a situation where your opponent has a tank, that's not quite, but almost 2 Vultures less that he could have. So your Vultures kill Vultures relatively quickly and kill tanks very slowly. So what you do is you run in and you target only Vultures or only the tank. You can't let the fire spread. So he kills the tank, and now going after Vultures, but that does give this slight advantage to Soso here. It takes several volleys, right, to end up killing the siege tank. Dude, there's a lot to Vulture Wars. The fact that Mihu, by the way, has made this many Vultures and literally skipped mines so much, he's getting siege. Okay, I'm sure he will get mines eventually, but he's skipping it for now. He's just going up to siege mode. I've literally never seen this. Like, I've seen mines skipped because you're going 5 Factory Vulture and you can't afford it, but the fact that he's like, you know what, we still have a lot of Vultures, but screw the mines, don't need them. You know, he's keeping some map control. So it looks like what he's actually attempting to do here is saying, okay, there's no mines on my side because I've had map control for a long time. So I don't need the mines because I'm not afraid of you attacking forward with siege tanks. So he's actually getting like a more forward position with his tanks. That's like pretty far back. That might tell us he doesn't know exactly where the mines start. couple Goliaths come out and are going to be able to push back this barracks, which is quite nice. The 2 tanks in siege mode here. I'm not sure what that position does exactly. I feel like you'd want to put maybe tanks here because you want to be able to secure this gas in another path out of your base. But if Mihu can set up a very solid contain in this area, this is not a gas base here, right? This is a gas base, but it's low. It's 1,500. The patches are all 1,000. So there's some issues with taking this base. It's just not very long-lived. So any containment that stops flow through the center is very strong. And then, of course, you always have the possibility to rotate over here because you have control. Now, 2 tanks come forward for Soso, and he is going to be able to push Mihu back in this area. The barracks kind of keeping an eye on each other. Let's take a look down at the base real quick. So 3 factory add-on here for Mihu. He does have the armory. He does have the double gas. Up here, 3rd command center is almost done. 4 factories total with 2 add-ons. 2 more on the way. Plus 1 on the way. So, I mean, looking at the position of the game right now, the one thing Mihu has going for him is he has containment. And, in fact, he runs up these tanks. If he can snipe the tanks, that's huge. This is not high ground, by the way, so you're not missing shots there. Big, big move from Mihu. To kill those 2 tanks, that was actually super crucial. If he can kind of control this area, because he's already controlling here... Like, if he sieges here and here maybe, and here, something like that, man, this is going to be hard for Soso to break out of. But Soso looks like he wants to rotate down on this side. I think he had an idea that Mihu might do what I was suggesting here and hold this area. He did lay mines up there, but Mihu is just trying to flow with where the tanks are. So he moves his tanks mostly over here and maintains that containment. Now, Soso is going to land this command center. But there's a problem here. His 3rd base, yes, quicker. We do have the 3rd base being made on location, a gas base there. But the problem is going to be the siege tank count. So even though he's going to gain a lot of minerals and he's going to have a lot of factories that are producing vultures, you eventually hit a critical mass of siege tanks that the vultures almost don't matter. Right? So, like, you can actually outsupply him quite a bit here with that production, but the siege tanks are going to be the things that really make a difference. So we'll see if this is what comes true here. I feel like Mihu definitely has the advantage right now. But if Soso can break out and do what Mihu's doing, like break this location and then hold this location, suddenly the tables are completely turned. It's just, can you actually end up doing that? Now, look, a lot of siege tanks coming through. Oh, whoever sieges first. Oh, first siege from Mihu. And he is targeting tanks immediately. This is exactly what you need to do. Mihu, once again, doubling down on his advantage here. He gets the tank victory. He's going to relay mines in the area. And look, it's like, yeah, we have more and more vultures coming out for Soso. But is he making progress? He's not. He's not actually making any progress here whatsoever. Whereas Mihu now has an additional gas. It won't last forever, but that's huge. The minerals here, what is this going to do? Flood vulture forever for days and days and days, but you have to kill the tanks. Using the vultures there to actually tank some shots. Trying to target down with his own siege tanks upon Mihu's. More vultures coming in to try to help clean this up. But Mihu maintains that advantage. No mines on his side of the map. Able to move very freely. He has good spotting going on. He still has some reasonable mines as well. And now a Wraith comes out. We actually do have 2 Goliaths. So he got these just in the nick of time. Gonna have to send one down here to deal with that. But Mihu, once again, moves into position here. Gonna target those tanks. That is the most important thing. You can see his tanks flicking back to where he's targeting. And every time he's killing a tank here, his advantage goes up and up and up. He has 50% more gas income right now. He's killing more tanks than Soso is. And there's not an end in sight. Like, this is getting more and more and more Mihu favored. You can see, look at the supply starting to just tank. Despite the fact we have a lot of factories, there are a lot of vultures being produced. He's actually, I'm surprised he's popping out any Goliaths right now, to be honest. Really surprised about that. Like, he has the Wraith. I don't think he expects to see any Wraiths. Nor should he. Like, this type of position you wouldn't make Wraiths in. And, like, this could have possibly been more siege tanks. Right? Like, you need to make as many tanks as you can right now for Soso. Now, Mihu, look at this beautiful siege line. You're not breaking that. He has to skip this area now. This is a death range in here. He needs to remass and break to the south. And honestly, he has to do it really quickly. This is as weak as this area is ever going to be for the rest of the game. Mihu looks like he might go ahead and expand here, or maybe make a turret. Ah, turret. Okay, so he's starting to do, like, some anti-drop type stuff over here. Now, it looks like we are going to have Soso try to break out of here. This is his best chance. Mihu targets the tanks. Very well done. Vultures coming up. More siege tanks in the back line. So maybe he loses part of the front, but he has even more tanks behind. So this, once again, not going to get broken out. This is what can happen in TVT, man. If someone gets that containment up, rallies siege tanks nonstop, blocks a few break attempts, there's not much left over for the contained Terran. Look at this terrible position that we have Soso in. He's like making command centers. These are very optimistic. He has tons of mineral income, so he can make them. But he's like, yeah, I hope I can like expand to these other bases. I hope I can break through miraculously and then get another gas. But honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. Like, Mihu has these amazing siege lines. He has vision of what's going on. His production is amazing. Now he has a mineral base as well. So, like, honestly, he can add, like, 4 more factories right now and just rally for days. Another attack, another bust coming in from Soso, but, well, maybe he is able to bust it this time. Only 2 tanks left over right here. 1 here as well. He really needs to bring every unit he has right now to really secure this base. This would be, like, a huge deal for him to be able to get this. Oh, but Mihu continues to move up with more and more and more units. Pushes those tanks back once again. SCVs optimistically coming up, trying to mine. He may as well. He may as well, because if he doesn't get this base, the game is going to end. Mihu getting way more supply right now. Okay. Taking a look. Oh, it gets worse and worse and worse. More siege tanks in position. Look at this. Another move up from Soso. So once again, trying to break through. Does he have enough? The Vultures just coming in, tanking so many shots, dealing damage. A huge siege up once again in range of where that command center would land. So that is good enough for him right now. 4 tanks remain against the 6 already in siege mode. +2 is being made. It's actually about to finish right now for Soso. So that's actually a huge deal that he does have +2 first. That is going to make him much more efficient with his siege tanks, since they will 2-shot his opponent's siege tanks, but he needs to get a position first that works with, and this is not it. Running into your opponent's siege tank fire, not necessarily going to help. We actually do have some wraiths popping out from Mihu. He is starting to really run away with this game now, and there's no anti-air here. There's none. There's 2 Goliaths way over to the side, but he's going to lose a siege tank first. And, I mean, as the Goliaths come over, he can rotate these wraiths as well. Look at that, a second siege tank even going to fall. Mihu just masterfully playing this. Look at this. Another base up here, another base here, keeping control of the situation. And, guys, it looks to me like Mihu is going to advance to the next round. There's still, like, maybe 1 opportunity here for Soso. And that opportunity is... Honestly, I don't think that this is going to be that breakable, even though this is much more wide open. But if he can break, right, he needs to break either here or here and then get out onto the map immediately. Like, that's exactly what he needs to do. Now, look, Mihu is actually deciding, you know what, it's time for me to finally attack. He has a ton of units down here. The reinforcements come down for Soso, but his Vultures are going to explode so quickly against this many siege tanks. And Soso may just, like, barely hold on to this mineral base. But this is the opposite of what we needed to see from him. Look at this supply differential, 100 to 169. Very nice for Mihu. And that, I think, pretty much seals it, right? Like I was mentioning at this point, like the supply differential, it's a bit too much, even though he has that +2, which is very nice. We need to see Soso break out of somewhere and have a piece of the map that's his own for unit flow, and he just isn't going to be able to get that anymore. Mihu continues to trudge forward. So many units. Laying some mines down offensively over here, does get that hit. Oh, man, just endless damage, endless macro coming out of Mihu. And Soso with basically nothing left over here. We should be seeing a GG momentarily. He's going to lose the mineral base. No minerals. Almost no minerals. Long distance mining a gas. He's trying once again to set something up over here. Not going to end up working. So not wanting to admit he is not going to be going to the round of 16. Mihu. Another Terran versus Terran victory. Very, very well done. Very exciting to have 2 Chinese players advancing into the round of 16 of the CasterMuse Narak StarLeague. Definitely awesome to see these Chinese players put out such high-quality games. Definitely a great one here from Mihu. Really understood what he should be doing at all points. It looks like Soso wants one final attempt at breaking free. Of course, it will not work. He's losing just about everything he has. Look at that SCV count down to half of what Mihu has. And even if he busts a couple tanks here, there's really nothing left. It's like you're fighting tooth and nail to get a mineral base back, as if vultures are going to get through this for you. Just not going to occur. More units coming up. Wraiths coming as well. No anti-air in the area aside from one very red Goliath. And this is going to be it. GG about to be called, no doubt. No one likes to leave games, man. On the ladder, you would definitely already be out of here. GG, Mihu advances to the round of 16.